They chuckled, assuming I couldn't hear them, but I did. I always did. The dinner was hosted at one of those cold, over-styled rooftop spots, where the glass walls seemed more designed to mirror egos than to showcase any real view. Her firm was throwing some kind of celebration, promotions, milestones, fake laughter, and quiet treachery. Everyone was dressed in labels that screamed importance. I stood still at the circular table tucked in the back. My place card sat next to hers. It didn't have my name. It read, "Clueless Idiot Trash." The room erupted in laughter. Her colleagues, her superior, the one she once referred as a bit overbearing but brilliant. Even the interns who didn't know who I was, they all joined in. Then came the mocking chant. "Beggar," someone barked. Another chimed in. "Freeloader." Glasses clinked. No one stopped it, least of all her. She leaned into her boss, whispered something, and he burst out laughing, wine spraying from his mouth. But I didn't react. I didn't shout. I didn't shed a tear. I just smiled, because I had waited 6 months for this night. It wasn't always like this. A decade ago, she would trace the lines of my hands and say I had the fingers of a man who built legacies. We started with nothing. I worked double shifts to pay for her MBA. She cried when I proposed with a second-hand ring, told me I was her everything, promised we'd be a team for life. Then came the corner office, the new clothes, the sudden string of work dinners that ran late into the night. She assumed I didn't notice the unfamiliar cologne she brought home or the way she recoiled when I reached for her phone. She forgot that I was quiet, not oblivious, that I always paid attention. The moment it truly hit me, I picked her up from the airport. She claimed she'd just returned from a leadership conference in Dubai, but her suitcase still had a Rome baggage tag. She lied before I even questioned her, said her talk went great, showed me a stage photo with a timestamp error. That night, I stopped being her husband. I became a witness. I started collecting the truth in silence. Installed a data recovery app on our shared tablet, the one she'd forgotten to log out of. I uncovered emails, photos, even a video of her and her boss in our garage. She was wearing my hoodie. I retrieved financial records, found a hidden credit card under her name, paid off by the company, used for their secret getaways. While she laughed behind my back, I moved in silence behind hers. I hired a divorce attorney first, one who knew how to handle corporate affairs and trace concealed assets. Then I contacted the chairman of her company's board, an older man with sharp instincts and little patience for his CEO's loose morals. I told him I was a worried husband. He gave me his card. I handed him proof. That dinner party? It was a final act. I arrived fashionably late, wearing a plain black suit. No tie, no smile, just a flash drive in my pocket, and a speech I practiced endlessly. They were mid-toast when I walked in. She blinked, masking her surprise with a forced grin. Her boss had an arm slung casually over her chair like I wasn't there. I sat down, noticed the place card, heard their mockery, and waited. When the toast faded and the champagne softened their sharpness, I stood and tapped my glass. "Mind if I say a few words?" I asked. The room quieted, not out of respect, out of curiosity. Even she looked amused. I nodded toward the board president at the front table. "I'm afraid tonight I'll be severing ties," I said, smoothly, "with this company and with the woman I thought I once knew." The air shifted. I pulled out the flash drive and held it up. "On here, you'll find a list of corporate policy breaches, misuse of company funds, undeclared travel, and inappropriate relationships between staff and executives." Her boss stiffened. My wife turned ghostly pale. I looked at the chairman. "I believe your ethics policy still matters. Or has that changed since the Rome incident?" A gasp. The chairman rose. Security moved fast. Within moments, her boss was escorted out. She chased after him, shouting, voice cracking, mascara streaming. The chairman turned to me. "We'll be in contact." We shook hands. The consequences were immediate. First, she was suspended, then terminated. Her name vanished from the website within a day. Her boss? Subject to an internal review. His resignation made headlines. As for me, I filed for divorce the next morning, kept the house, took half the assets, all legally hers, but emotionally mine. The last time I saw her, she turned up at my door. No makeup, puffy eyes, no ring. It was just a mistake, she whispered. I stared straight at her. No, it was a choice. Then I shut the door. And no, I don't lose sleep over it. Not anymore. Because vengeance isn't about fury, it's about control. Justice doesn't shout, it strikes with precision. They once called me clueless idiot trash. But trash burns. And some things are better as ash.